Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is MJ Pankey, and today I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about some of the front matter pages in a book and why those matter. So as I'm getting closer to publishing my book, my thoughts are starting to turn towards formatting, typesetting, front matter pages, headers, footers, all of those little tiny details. Now that I'm pretty confident about how many pages my book is going to end up being, I need to estimate what additional pages need to be in there on top of my actual story. So yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at in this process. So this kind of took me down the typesetting road and trying to determine if I could just do it myself or if I needed to hire someone to do it. What's really the benefit of getting a professional typesetter and book formatter? Why can't I just do this myself? And there's multiple reasons, and I'm going to have another video. But this one, I just wanted to focus on the front matter pages. I hadn't really put a lot of thought into what I needed or really if there was any standardization. I just kind of assumed that books had what they needed and that was that. Like if there's an acknowledgement, if there's a dedication, they're in there. If they're not needed, then they're not in there. Some books have a table of content, some don't. So it's just like, it's whatever is needed, right? That's kind of like what I had in my head. But that's actually not really the case. There actually is a method and a standardization to what's in a book and what's not, and when to put certain things in and when to leave them out. And it's an industry standardized thing. So there are a few freebie places that I found online that do kind of generate a few front matter pages for you, but I was still a little confused on what the difference was and what the benefits were. So I actually, I'm studying and editing certification from Queen's University right now. And one of the first things that we looked at was the Chicago Manual of Style. I just kind of thought that this was something academics use to help them figure out how to cite sources in a book. I really did not think that the Chicago Manual of Style extended to book publications or magazine publications or anything like that. I had no idea, but this is a very valuable tool. It really takes you through those front matter pages. What needs to be on them? When do you use them? What doesn't need to be on them? For example, headers and page numbers do not appear on front matter pages typically. So when you open a book, you're going to see like a title page, and you're going to see a copyright page, and you're going to see a couple of other pages, and those do not have numbers and they do not have headers up at the top, which I never really paid that much attention to until I started looking at the Chicago Manual of Style. And they really are standardized. I double checked what I was reading there with some of the novels that I have on my bookshelf. And I have a pretty good range of books. I have traditionally published books. I have recently published books. I have older published books. I have self-published books. I have self-published books that I know the authors paid a professional typesetter for. And so I just kind of looked at all these to determine how they lined up with the Chicago Manual of Style. And most of the traditional ones lined up, and most of the self-published ones did not. Even the ones that I knew had paid for a professional typesetter. So I guess all this just to say that if you are self-publishing your book, and you want it to be competitive and you want it to look like it belongs, which these front matter pages really don't have anything to do with your actual story, which is kind of the crappy part, right? Because it's like, I have a book, I have a story to tell, and it's really great. But unfortunately, you still have a lot of readers who will pick up a book and they'll flip it open, and if it doesn't look like it should, they set it back on the shelf because they immediately have this idea in their head that it's not up to standard and therefore it's not something they want to read, which, that's a stigma that is kind of stuck with self-publishing. There's lots of communities trying to do away with that stigma, but unfortunately it's just there. So my advice is if you are self-publishing your book, get your hands on the Chicago Manual of Style and make sure that your front matter pages, the very first pages that your readers are going to look at, meet industry standards, in the right order, in the right format, they have the right aesthetic, because those things really do matter and they are not just random. They're very intentional. Writing a book is already difficult, and wondering what needs to go inside of it apart from your actual story doesn't need to be one of those things that you're worried about. So look up the Chicago Manual of Style. There's an online version. You can probably check it out free from your library. But honestly, if you're going to make a habit of writing books and a habit of self-publishing books, you should probably just buy one. I think it's maybe like $60, but it's well worth the investment. That's my advice to you guys. That's really all I have for this video. I hope you found this helpful. Please subscribe, and I will see you in a future video. Happy writing.